Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. This is your Manchester United versus Brentford preview, as well as we've got some big updates on the new structuring of Manchester United's board and transfers, especially around Frenkie de Jong. At last we've got some clarity on that transfer, although the door has still been left ajar. We will talk about that. We will get into this game, and I really want to dive into this game because Brentford are on a fantastic run. They've won at Chelsea, they've beat West Ham, they beat Watford, and they drew with Spurs. That's their last 4 games, and people are talking about playing the youth. Have you not looked at the league table? We haven't tied anything down yet. We're completely loose in relation to where we can finish in the league. So lots to discuss on that, and passionate as ever. But as always, not as always, but on this show, as you can see, we've got the QR code. We are sponsored by Manscaped. Spring has sprung, and now is the time to trim that bush. Trusted by over 4 million men worldwide, you can get a fantastic offer through Manscaped, who we've worked with for a very long time. When you use the code UNITEDSTAND, you can get 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com. So if you've got a jungle down there and you want to clear it out and trim the grass to make the yard look bigger, it really does. It's very impressive what it can do. Check out the new Lawnmower 4.0. It's got a new multifunctional on and off switch. It's also got a travel lock for people who like to travel. It's got the ability to turn the LED light on and off for a more precise shave. It's got adjustable lengths if you want to go really short or just medium. You can adjust your trim lengths there. It's got a sleek 2-tone matte finish with actually a really nice Manscaped logo on there as well. Very fancy. And of course, its wireless charging system uses electromagnetic induction, which can help battery life last longer. It'll trim the grass, it will make it look bigger, but it won't make you last longer. The only thing that will last longer is this for the battery. Alongside the new Lawnmower 4.0, you can get the performance package, where you get the Weed Whacker, which is fantastic for this sort of thing. And you get the Crop Preserver, the Crop Reviver, very comfy boxer shorts, and a travel bag. It really is fantastic. And because Manscaped, as I said, care about everyone who watches the United Stand, you can get 20% off plus free worldwide shipping when you use the code UNITEDSTAND at checkout. Thank you very much to Manscaped. Absolutely fantastic. Really, really great products, and very glad to have them on board. Of course, you can hold your camera up to that QR code, which I'm going to move in a minute, and you can just go straight to the website, check it out that way. So let's get on with this game. I want to talk about De Jong. I want to talk a little bit about the replacements of Judge, but I also want to just get into this game. I'm getting really frustrated. I don't know about you. I'm getting really frustrated of people saying, "Ooh, against Brentford, let's play the youth. Let's play Alvaro Fernandez. Let's play Mabry. Let's play Garnacho. Let's put Charlie McNeil up front." And I'm like, whoa. If Wolves win their 2 games in hand, they've got the same points as us. If West Ham win their game in hand, they've got the same points as us. If we lose to Brentford and they win their next game, we're down to 8th. So I'm confused. I'm confused as to why people think it's a good idea to just play. It's almost like it is almost like they have not realised that we are in a position whereby we have not sorted out Europa League football yet, and I can't get my head on it because we've had a really weird season where it's been crap on the pitch. There's been loads of moaning, and we've now got some people, journalists as well, saying United should just play the youth now. There's nothing else to play for. Oh, there's nothing else to play for. Oh, well, that's all right then. Can I have a game? I'd love another game at Old Trafford. We've got nothing else to play for. We've got a new manager coming in. If we're in the Europa League, he'll get more of a budget. If we're in the Europa League, it's another route into the Champions League. But let's play the youth. We've got nothing to play for. Let's end up out of the Europa League. Let's lower our transfer budget. Let's reduce. Let's get rid of another opportunity into the Champions League. Yeah, that sounds brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I just can't get my head around why people are saying, "Oh, there's nothing left to play for." There's everything left to play for. We haven't, until we've got that Champions League spot, that Europa League spot sorted, there's everything to play for. And I'm actually quite nervous about this game against Brentford, and I'll tell you for why, and we'll look at the lineup next to me there. Rashford cannot start, but probably will start, but shouldn't start. When you put in a performance, he's put in plenty of bad performances this season, but when you put in a performance like you did against Chelsea the other night, where you're not tracking back, when you're on the ball like that, there has to be repercussions. And yes, he's been in and out the team like a yo-yo, but the reality is he should not start against Brentford on Monday night. No way should he start. But it's difficult then to build a team because Jadon Sancho's out. We know that with his tonsillitis. Cavani's only just back in training, so can he even start a game? Probably not. we're really lacking wide players, and we know that RANGNICK quite likes pace. But against Brentford, I actually think you could go with a team like that. So De Gea in goal, I'd stick with the same back four. They worked really hard against Chelsea. The goal really wasn't the back four's fault. It was the wingers not tracking back, Rashford on that occasion with Alonso. So I would go with the same back five. I would put Matic in. I thought he was contender for man of the match against Chelsea, so Matic has to play. I'd actually drop McTominay to the bench and start Fred. If Fred can't start, then put McTominay in and bring Fred on, but I would drop McTominay if Fred's available to give us that energy in the midfield. Obviously, Bruno is going to have to stay because we've got nothing else to do there. Alanga would go to the left, Mata would go to the right, and Ronaldo through the middle. Now, people will say, well, Mata can't play for 90 minutes. I know. But the way Brentford play, they play with a sort of a back five, and they've got Tony and Mbuma on who are quick on the break with Eriksen and a couple of others feeding them. So I think we will have more of the ball than Brentford. They're not a possession-based team, and they will look to hit us on the break. So I think actually having people who can use the ball in the final third, it's the perfect game to start Mata, and Rashford needs to be dropped anyway. And I know RANGNICK likes to play with Rashford because he's got pace and he's a wide player, but he's bang out of form. And against Brentford, we will have the opportunity to get to the edge of their box a lot. And I think people like Juan Mata, who can keep the ball and keep the attack moving, is really important. And Mata and Bruno tend to link up quite well. And if you back that up with a midfield of Matic and Fred, and get your fullbacks bombing on, I think it'll be a very different game to Chelsea. And what I want to see is service in the box, because whatever's going to happen with Ronaldo, there is no doubt that Ronaldo right now is probably in his best vein of form in a United shirt. He's absolutely focused. He's absolutely at the top of his game. He's scoring goals. We've got to create chances for Ronaldo. So I think Mata has to come into this game. Now, there is another opportunity. There's something else you could do. I could just show you this very, very quickly. You could take Juan Mata out of the team, and you could put Edison Cavani to the right-hand side as well. But I'm not so sure with Cavani training for the first time that we can do that. And I wouldn't mind Cavani doing it, because you could rotate Cavani with Ronaldo and Alanga and rotate them as a front three. But personally, I would go with Juan Mata off that right-hand side, and then maybe give Cavani the last half an hour. Give Mata the first hour, give Cavani the last half an hour. I mean, look, Rashford's going to be on the bench, Lingard's going to be on the bench. I don't really want to use those players because I don't think they've taken the opportunity since Christmas anyway. With these players, we know Cavani's going to go, but we know he works hard. We know Mata's going to go, but we know he works hard. So I personally would go with that starting lineup. I don't know what everybody else thinks. In relation to Brentford, as I said, we cannot, even if we had nothing to play for, which we do, we couldn't. I mean, again, I'll go back to it. I've seen people with lineups that have got Mabry, Garnacho, Shoretire in it, and I'm like, what? Hold on a minute. Even if we've got nothing to play for, it's the last game of the season at Old Trafford. I think you have got something to play for. It's called your fans. We've not played enough for our fans this season, and we need to sign off this season with something that keeps the fans going until next season. And yes, Ten Hag's a big boost, but these fans need a performance. They deserve a performance on Monday night. And chucking young players in as well, can I just say, massive disrespect to Brentford. Massive disrespect. They went to Stamford Bridge a couple of weeks ago and they won 4-1. They've beaten West Ham, they've beaten Watford, who are fighting for their lives, and they held a Spurs side that is desperate for fourth place to 0-0 last week at their place. So they are not... Brentford are in a very good run of form at the moment. They've taken 10 points from their last 12, and they've played West Ham, Spurs and Chelsea in that. Do not disrespect Brentford. We need the win. It's our last home game of the season, and people are saying, let's throw the youth in. They'll batter us. What does that do for the youth? They'll batter us. They're in a good vein of form at the moment. Eriksen has sparked that Brentford team back into form. And with those two players they've got up front in Tony and Mbuma, they will cause teams problems. And we will have to be on our toes on Monday night. And I think it will be a difficult game. I'm going to go with a United win 2-0. I think we need to keep a clean sheet in this game. And if we do, we'll win the game. But it's not going to be easy. And I want us to take it seriously. Because if we do lose to Brentford... Our last two games of the season are Brighton and Palace. We could lose both of those and we will be 8th. And I'm telling you now, I think it's massively important that we take these games really seriously. And I know Ralph Rangnick will as well, because we need Europa League football. I don't want Conference League football. I'd rather have nothing. We are very precariously close to that Conference League position. West Ham could catch us. Wolves could catch us. I don't think they both will. But if one of them catches, we're not out of Europe, ladies and gentlemen. We go from 6th to 7th. We go from Europa League football to Conference League football. Europa League football will mean more money and an opportunity of Champions League football. Conference League football will mean less money, no option of Champions League football, and the disruption of having to play Thursday to Sunday. So we've got to get results, and it starts with this game against Brentford. I'm going to go 2-0. I feel the team has got a bit of momentum from the last 2 games. I wouldn't, valid point. Is Wan-Bissaka back? Don't care. Is Maguire back? Don't care. They don't start for me. You don't change that back 4. If Fred is back, I would put McTominay to the bench. I thought he was poor against Chelsea. If he's not back, put Fred on the bench, start with McTominay. You've got a substitution there. Matic needs to start. I would have dropped Bruno a couple of times, but I'm not dropping him for Lingard. So and I want Mata to play off the right hand side. Can't start Rashford, Elanga, Ronaldo. Simple as that. I would use Cavani if he was available. So it's a shame Pogba's not around actually, because we could do with some quality. But there you go. So yeah, I think we'll win 2-0, and I'm looking forward to it. I think it's another nail-biting game in the sense that the season is not, and I will not accept that this season is over and that we've got nothing left to play for. We very much have. And people might say, well, what's your motivation to be, involved in this game? I'm thinking about Erik ten Hag. I'm thinking about the summer transfer window. I'm thinking about next season. And these next 3 games dictate that. Definitely, 100%. Talking of which, I do need to bring you an update on Frenkie de Jong is the player I need to bring you an update on. So Fabrizio Romano has tweeted this afternoon that, what Xavi actually said, that he's had a chat with Frenkie de Jong. There has been a little bit of unrest around him, but he said that he's a player for the present and for the future, and it's settled down now. People seem to want to make a story around Frenkie de Jong, and Manchester United will get mentioned because Erik ten Hag used to manage him and we need a midfielder. But I've been told time and time again that Frenkie de Jong to Manchester United makes absolutely no sense for Frenkie de Jong. He is a Champions League player. He's at Barcelona. They are rebuilding. He is happy there. And the thing that's unsettled him is he feels that the club might be trying to force him out. Xavi's had a chat with him and said that's not the case. He's very happy at Barcelona. If he did leave, Manchester United would only be attractive because of Erik ten Hag, not where they are in their league races, not where they are in Europe. So, and also he is on 350k a week and he would cost about 70 million quid. So whilst Man United might be able to offer that up, I don't think United would want to be offering that up at this stage of a brand new start rebuild when they know they need 5 or 6 players, not 1 or 2 superstars. So I'm quite glad that this Frenkie de Jong story is starting to die down in relation to Manchester United, because if he was available, I think he's more likely to go to Man City. I mean, surely Pep would want a player like that, and they can offer a lot more for him. So a lot more for him in relation to, we are title contenders, we are in the Champions League. So I'm glad that this Frenkie de Jong thing is starting to settle down, because I think it's a distraction, a major distraction. And what if United start to think there's a chance there and we waste time? Somebody made a great point on the morning show that what we can't do this summer is waste the summer going after a player that we ultimately don't get, and whilst we're trying to get them, we miss out on a load of other targets. And at best, I think that's what would happen with de Jong. But I think we need to just file that away. De Jong's not going to happen. And also another problem with that distraction is that if people think we're in for de Jong and then you sign Ruben Neves or Calvin Phillips or Bissouma, automatically that puts a negativity on that signing, because it's like, well, I thought we were going to get de Jong and now we've got Calvin Phillips. And it's like there's a negativity towards what we're going to go for. We've got to forget the Declan Rices, the Erling Haalands, the Harry Kanes, the Frenkie de Jongs, because we're not going to get them. They're too expensive and they're not actually the right signing now. I look at a United 11 next season, and off the top of my head, I'm going to do a video on this, but on the top of my head, I see De Gea, maybe Deleuze still right back, Varane, a new centre-back, so maybe Timber there. Left-back probably still will be Shaw. Holding midfielder, whoever's that's going to be. Maybe it is a Calvin Phillips. Maybe it is a Bissouma. Maybe it's somebody else. Fred's probably still box-to-box. I imagine Bruno starts, maybe Donny. Left-hand side, you got Sancho. Right-hand side, maybe we buy somebody like Anthony. Ronaldo up front. That's how I'm seeing next season. And I'm not seeing next season with De Jong in the team or Declan Rice or Erling Haaland through the middle. We've got to rebuild this football club, and we've got to do it in the right way. So I'm quite pleased that we're starting to get some clarity now on the De Jong thing, because I think it was causing a bit of problem for us. And yeah, we've got to be realistic, and we've got to be effective, and we've got to be impactful, which is what I was talking about this morning. Just on from that as well, some stories coming out this afternoon about Matt Judge. Obviously, he is the chief negotiator of contracts and transfers at Manchester United. He is obviously going to resign. There was talk about somebody else coming in. Reports today are that John Murtough will take on that responsibility, that Manchester United will replace Matt Judge, but ultimately that's not going to happen immediately, and they feel that they've got what they need to get through the summer. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, Matt Judge's background, like Ed Woodward's background, is banking, and yet this man was doing negotiations for contracts, negotiations for transfer fees. Murtaugh's background before Man United was Everton and recruitment. Can he negotiate contracts and stuff? Look, it's not just one person doing it. There's teams of people doing it. But United need specialists. That's what they need. And I think that's what they'll get. And look, it's really interesting because over the last few weeks, and certainly the last 24 hours, I've had conversations with a couple of people who are, one's a journalist, one's an agent. And the perception of Manchester United, I really just wanted to, I was going to do a video on it, but I sort of ran out of time, and I don't know whether people would be that interested in it, so I thought I'd just throw it in here. I was going to do a video on Man United's perception to the rest of the football world, with Ed Woodward as CEO and Matt Judge in charge of contract negotiations and transfers, because that's a really big part of Manchester United. I mean, people think of Man United, they think about the trophies, Sir Alex Ferguson, the fan base, Old Trafford. But actually, behind the scenes, agents and journalists and everything like that, they see a different side to United. They see, you know, the face of Man United might be Matt Judge negotiating a transfer or a contract renewal with the player's agent. Ed Woodward getting involved in things as the CEO. What was United's perception to the rest of the world in that sense? What do agents think of Manchester United? What do other clubs who deal with this think of Man United? What do journalists or, you know, professional people who deal with Manchester United think? And one of the recurring themes was arrogance and incompetence. And whether it's Ed Woodward, Matt Judge, or other people within that club, when you're negotiating contracts or renewals, or you're trying to sort of transfer out, or you're talking about things in that arena, United generally, business, like business people. My phone's off, which is a quote from Everett, but not, you know, that's almost like a metaphor or an example. The reality is United were deemed and viewed as incompetent, not very good, but arrogant with it as well. And arrogance with incompetence is a deadly duo. So look, Matt Judge, we wish him all the best, whatever you want to do. Same with Ed Woodward, but the reality is, for the last 9 years, United have been viewed as a bit of a joke, but not a funny joke, an incompetent joke, an arrogant joke, and that needs to change, because you know clubs like Bayern Munich, Juventus, Real Madrid, PSG, we know what they are in the public eye, but behind closed doors, their reputation stands up as well. United's reputation behind closed doors has not been very good for a very long time. They've been a laughingstock, amateurish, arrogant, incompetent, and that needs to change. And look, that's something that's been well known for a long time, and it's probably something that won't hit the headlines, but it's true. It's true. United have been a shambles for the last 9 years, and it's really important that we change that. And this summer is going to be a really, really big thing, because I remember asking Fabrizio about this a few weeks ago. Manchester United's perception this summer transfer window, we're going to find out a lot, whether we can mend that damage and how long it takes. What sort of players can we bring in? What sort of agents and clubs are we going to deal with and win? Are we still going to be hindered by our reputation of the last few years? Can we go and get a player that other people want? Can we go and get a Darwin Núñez? Can we go and get a Tchouaméni? Can we go and get these players that we want? Well, we're not going to get all of them, but it's going to be very interesting when it hits August and we look at what we've got. And I'm really looking forward to it. But to get to that stage, Brentford is a massive game. I don't know why some people don't think it is. It's huge. You've got to get yourself into that mindset, I think, where the season isn't over. I can't get my head around why people want to chuck a load of youth players in. Brentford will annihilate us. 10 points from their last 12. They're hungry. They've won at Stamford Bridge. They've had an amazing season. They deserve a massive amount of credit. He was massively frustrated that we beat them at their place in January. Remember Thomas Frank, after the game? He'll want to win because he'll want to win at Old Trafford. Those players, it's their first time playing at Old Trafford. They'll want to win and impress. He'll want to win because they're on a good run and he wants to, get a bit of revenge on us. They're going to be focused up for it and they're in form. We've got to be focused up for it and get a result. You don't do that by chucking young players in and going, the season's over. And the great thing is, no matter what any journalist says or any fan says, we all already know what Ralph Rangnick is going to do. He's going to take it seriously. He knows it's the last home game for Mata and Lingard and Cavani and anyone else who's leaving this summer, but he's not going to go with sentiment. I would go with Mata because he deserves to start over Rashford, and I think United can get a result, and I think we will get a result, and I'm going to go 2-0, and I think we really, really, really need a result as well. So there you go. Anyway, look, big shout out to Manscaped for sponsoring the show. Remember, you can scan the QR code through the thing that's on the screen there, the QR code. You basically hold your phone up with your camera to the QR code, and it will take you straight to it, like that. 20% off with the code United Stand and free shipping worldwide. Fantastic products. Check them out. You'll really enjoy them. Trim the grass to make the yard look bigger. You'll be very impressed by the difference. That's all I'm going to say. Check it out. Thanks everyone for watching. Smash a like on the video and subscribe. It is a pre-record tonight because Goldbridge is out. Yeah, he's out. Look. I feel like dancing. We're out. And that was me dancing. It wasn't a cry for help. I was actually, you make me feel like dancing, gonna dance the night away. That's what I was doing. It wasn't a cry for help. I want to make that clear. Anyway, look, I'll be back in the morning. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care. Have a good day, evening, or whatever you're doing. And make sure you check out Manscaped. And hope you're all doing well. I'll speak to you all soon. Thanks for watching.